Today on Let's Fish TV, join me, Andrew Upshaw, my good friend Todd Castledine. We're at Lake Nacogdoches in Texas. We're going after big crappie in that summer to fall transition. This is the time to be out here, and we're going to prove it to you in today's episode. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now.
That's a big one right there.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southeast region every week.
You ever caught a fish that big?
No!
Got him.
Night of the day. There you go. Another redfish. Got him. Now, that's what Let's Fish TV is all about right there, guys. Welcome to Let's Fish TV. I'm your host, Andrew Upshaw, and today I'm joined by my good friend Todd Castledine. We're at Lake Nacogdoches, just outside of Nacogdoches, Texas, where I went to college at Stephen F. Austin State University. Today we'll be targeting crappie, one of my favorite species to target. Never caught them here on Lake Nacogdoches, but I can't wait to show you how. We'll also have this week's fishing report from your local region from our insider reporters. In the meantime, we're gonna get the boat launch, get everything set up. We'll toss it back to the studio for your weekend planner.
Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Let's Fish. The Salooner tables are predicting fair activity both days this weekend. Peak game fish activity begins around 8:40 Saturday and 9:33 on Sunday morning. Nighttime action will begin around 9:05 on Saturday and 9:58 on Sunday night. Depending on your area, expect the sun to rise around 7:21 and set around 7:17. Nights will feature a moon that is 16% visible this weekend. Stay in the loop with Let's Fish TV's latest fishing adventures and tips by joining us on Facebook and subscribing to our YouTube channel.
He's on it. He's on it. Eat it. Oh, wow, that's a big one. Oh, there he goes.
Nice. Good one?
Oh, yeah.
Not a bad one.
Yeah, not a bad one at all. There we go, guys. That's what I'm talking about. That's a Lake Nac crappie right there. There we go. Today, I'm joined by my good friend Todd Castledine, and we're going after these things right here. Using a brand new bait by Mr. Crappie. We're gonna have a good day. Today, we're gonna show you how to catch crappie this time of year. We're in that fall to summer transition. We had a really cool morning. We're chasing fish down using active target 2, fishing for fish that you wouldn't typically target. And that is what it's all about today, is finding those nomad fish that are sitting on standing timber and showing you the little tricks and intricacies of how to get them to bite. And there's a few tricks that we can show you today that will definitely help you out. So I'm gonna get back to it. We'll see y'all here in just a second.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas Report. This week brought to you by Crazy Sister Marina. It's fall, it's the time to come down, and if you want to live like a local and not have 2,000 tourists here on the water with you, now's the time to do it. Book whatever you want to do. Charters, private boats, kayaks, paddleboards, we've got it all right here to help you live like a local. If you'll visit crazysistermarina.com, you'll find out all of the information on how to book your trip to come down here. But this week, we're going to go freshwater. Let's start off with stripers and lake watery. You can start to look for those fish to start schooling up on those coves and on those mouths of those ditches. You're going to find where there's bait, there's going to be stripers. Let's talk about largemouth. And I tell you what, here locally in our backyard here along the Grand Strand, you can find them on grass and structure right now. But I tell you what, if you're in the Santee River, look tight to the structure. You can find some big bags of bass right now. Get out and go fishing. That's the only way you're going to find out how to do it. This has been your Carolinas Report, brought to you by Crazy Sister Marina. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
Seriously? Oh, here we go. There we go. I think it's a little one though. Little baby. Oh no, it's not a baby. It's not bad. Guy got down to that school and he was just on it. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh, there we go. Look at that. Look at that cool black line down the back of that crappie. That's super cool. You know, this is actually one of the first times that Todd and I have ever gone crappie fishing together. I've crappie fished a lot, all over the place, really. I mean, we catch them all across the state, you know, and all across the South. But this is the first time we've actually gotten to kind of combine our knowledge on crappie. And the reason I came with Todd today is because Lake Knack is home for him. You know, he lives about 10 to 15 minutes away, and he called me the other day and he said, Andrew, the crappie fishing is fantastic. You need to get out here. It is phenomenal. And he's not wrong. I mean, we've been fishing for about 5 to 10 minutes around that range. I've already caught a couple really nice ones. And this time of year, in that summer to fall transition, these fish seem to be a lot more on shad. You know, you've got lakes that are turning over, they get above that thermocline and they roam a lot more. And every once in a while, they'll stop on some standing timber. But in this situation, these fish, especially the ones we just caught, were roaming fish. And the roaming fish truly are the easiest to catch if you can find the schools of them. But the problem is you got to chase them down and try to catch them. So having a good trolling motor, that Motor Guide Tour Pro, we're able to keep up with those fish. And when we do find a stump that they're on, we can anchor lock it down and we're ready to catch them cast after cast. But I don't want him to get up on me. I got him down right now. So I'm gonna get back to it and see if I can catch a few more. You get it?
No. There he is.
I was wondering, it looked like it didn't
That's a
get
big one too.
Is it?
Yeah, if I can get it. Not a big one, but one. Nah, he didn't eat it yet for a while. It took him a second.
I got them all over mine right now.
He had to follow it off for a little bit.
There we go. Doubled up. Little one. But hey, dang it. Of course you beat me.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about Lake Knack though, it has a vast amount of crappie in it. I mean, we pulled up to this stump and as you can tell, we doubled up really, really quick. But utilizing a technology like Active Target has really opened the eyes of many anglers all across the United States, especially when it comes to catching crappie. You know, it is a tool that you can go day in and day out, find schools of fish, whether it be on stumps, on brush piles, on docks, and be able to target those fish. Everything we thought we used to know is kind of out the window a little bit, you know? I mean, it's just not the same as what it used to be. Now, could you target these fish with minnows and stuff? Sure. But in this situation, we're using crappie jigs. More importantly, Mr. Crappie jigs. And honestly, the cool thing about this is it really has opened up the eyes of a lot of people that didn't ever crappie fish before, and now they're crappie fishing because they can go out there and catch them. And more importantly, using these little jigs, just like this one here. This is a brand new bait by Mr. Crappie called the Little Sucker. And that is the perfect size bait fish to match the hatch for this time of year. But what it's done is it allowed people to go and not just fish with minnows and not fish with a bobber and a cane pole and things like that, and actually be able to target them very specifically and catch those fish to fill their freezers. Now today we're throwing them back, and I know my grandma's rolling over in her grave right now because she would want me to keep and eat these fish. So Todd's got me down a little bit. I'm gonna try to catch back up here in just a second.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Lose, Feel the Difference, Strike King, Taiwan On, and by Glacier Outdoors since 1982.
Because I don't mind catching some big ones.
I mean, that is a big one there.
You can flip some big ones like that.
That's a good one. This one little spot's got a lot of them.
Got him.
I got him too. Guess it wasn't a bluegill.
Well, that's a big one. How about yours?
Oh, mine's way bigger than that one. Like so much bigger.
Get him in.
No, he's not that big.
Now, you know about this stripe, right? Have you heard about this stripe?
Tell me about it.
This is what I've been told. I don't know how true it is. So, here, get on that trolling motor. Anytime they have that stripe on it, up and down it, I've heard that they say that that's what Texas Parks and Wildlife. It's from the Texas Parks and Wildlife deal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how they like genetically marked them, and you'll see them like that.
Oh, wow, that's
what
cool.
I've been told. I don't know how true it is, but that's what I've been told.
I went ahead and threw mine back. Mine was definitely bigger than yours, though. But let's get back to like what actually happened right here. You know, we've been kind of scanning around, and we had found a little brush pile over here and caught a couple of them, and we decided to just keep on covering water. And that is one of the effective things about using Active Target is you can actually scan and you can vary the distance of what you scan. You know, so a lot of times we talk about Active Target 2 and the effectiveness of it and what makes it so great and all this stuff, but little do many people talk about is exactly how to set it up. So I'm gonna walk you through the setup process. You know, as far as the distance out, you know, what you're looking the furthest out, with crappie fishing, I like to keep it less than 60 feet and ideally around 40 feet so I can be able to make my pinpoint cast or a little roll cast out to those particular fish. Now, if I'm bass fishing, I'll set it anywhere between 90 and 110 feet. So having the right distance set is a very, very important aspect of setting up your active target too. Now, the other big aspect is setting the depth range, the right range. Now, I'm not gonna set it at 50 feet if I'm fishing in 30. And then today we're fishing around 20 foot of water and I have it set at around 30. I wanna be able to see the entire water column to be able to see where those fish are setting up. Now, a lot of times I'll actually keep it around that 25 foot range most of the time, even in shallow water, so I get the right perspective of the size of fish. Now, some people will say, well, I can't see that little dot down there, but the reality is, if you zoom it in too much, it will distort the image and make a small fish look way bigger. So having it set at the right depth range will help you find the right size fish and be able to determine the size of the fish that you're targeting. So we're gonna get back to it. And you know, I'm catching up with Todd. Obviously that last fish was definitely bigger than his. He might disagree with me, but he never really got to see mine because I threw mine back so fast. So that's how it goes sometimes when you're fishing with your friends.
Hey y'all, it's time to get that Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia coastal fishing report. This segment's brought to you by me, Captain Patrick Garmison with Ugly Fishing. I do inshore fishing charters and nearshore fishing charters in the Mobile Bay area out of Southwest Alabama. Go to uglyfishing.com. You can see all about my charters here in Alabama. Redfish has been really the key thing that I've been focusing on. Most of the fish that we're catching are going to be in that mid slot to upper slot and even over slot. The best bait for us here lately has been live pogies. Live shrimp, bull minnows, those are all effective. If you're gonna be out there catching these bigger redfish, just be sure to take care of them, take some photos, but get them right back in the water. In the words of Speckled Truth, y'all keep what you need and leave the rest. God bless.
Oh yeah, that's a good one there. Golly, every time you get it down there, Todd wouldn't know anything about that because he got snagged. But every time you get it down there, they bite it right there on that spot. Oh yeah, man, he tried to jump like a bass. He might have some bass in him. Golly, that's a good one there. That's what Lake Nac's got, and honestly, it's got bigger ones than that. Todd actually had sent me a couple pictures of some really, really big ones that he had caught whenever he told me how good the fishing was. But let's get this fish back and we'll talk a little bit more about the equipment you need when you're targeting these crappie. You know, you're gonna have a lot of guys that tell you, hey, you gotta have this crappie rod, this crappie reel, and that's the only thing that works. Todd, look at me real quick. What are you using?
I use my bass stuff.
He's using a 7.4 spinning rod, a Team Lou Signature Series bass rod, a 200 or 300 size Hyper Mag reel.
12-pound braid, 10-pound
yeah.
leader.
And so that's what he's using, and he's finding success. And what I'm using today, I'm using the Wally Marshall Pro Target rod. This is a 7-foot spinning rod, a medium light, or light action actually, with 6-pound Strike King fluorocarbon and the brand new Pro Target reel. Like I said, you can do it with just about anything. I prefer to use the smaller equipment only for the fact that I really like the fight. I love whenever one of those crappie smack it real hard and I bow up on them with that light rod. It is just so much fun. So it's all about whatever fits your need and your budget. You know, the Pro Target reel and rod are fairly inexpensive in comparison to using your bass equipment. But either way,
I like to use my bass equipment because I don't mind catching some big ones.
I mean, that is a big one there.
You can flip some big ones like that.
That's a good one. This one little spot's got a lot of them. Lake Nac is on fire. Guys, don't let the high temps of the late summer get you down. Right now is the time to be crappie fishing. You can feel that cooler real easy. We're gonna get back to it. I gotta catch back up now because that was definitely bigger than my other one.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, the ultimate fishing system, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach Tourism. Let's fish on Alabama's beaches. Motor Guides Tour Pro with GPS anchor, powered by passion.
Doubled up. Oh, I got a nice one too. Let's see who's got the bigger one this time. I think I got you this time.
There he is. That's a good one. Ooh, and look at this big one.
Is it a big one?
Yeah.
Wonder whose is bigger.
I don't know.
There we go.
This is going back in. This is going back in the water.
Oh,
no,
man.
no,
Oh,
I'm gonna go ahead and keep
I think
mine out
mine's
of the water
bigger.
just for a second.
I think mine's bigger.
Go ahead and get yours in.
Hey, yeah, see, look.
No.
Mine's definitely bigger. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, what a good double up there. That's all we've been doing is doubling up today.
it's
It's crazy how good it's been. All we gotta do is press that button on that Motor Guide Tour Pro, anchor lock us in the spot, and we're ready to rock. Dude, it has been incredible today. We have doubled and doubled and doubled when we found them. You know, I haven't crappie fished with Todd before. We've done a lot of bass fishing together.
A lot.
Most of the time for YouTube and some for TV, but never crappie fishing. And the thing is anytime you can put a spinning rod Todd in the boat with you and you go catch some crappie, you know, he's definitely perfected the spinning rod side of things. You're gonna have a lot of fun. So today, as far as baits go, we've kept it fairly simple. You know, you want a shad profile, shad colored bait. He's using the traditional lightning shad, whereas I'm using the little sucker. It's a brand new bait by Strike King. Blue glimmer for my color, and he's using crystal shad. And having the right colors and the more transparent crappie colors this time of year definitely pays dividends. Using really light jig heads too. That is a big key right now. 1/32 ounce size. I mean, really, really small. And that's how you're gonna trigger these fish into biting. You know, the big thing about having the right color jig head, I use pink, he's using white. So at the end of the day, it probably doesn't really matter.
Probably doesn't matter, yeah.
But I do believe that the pink head does give them something to key in on when they go to bite. I want them to hit it head first, that way that they eat it perfectly every single time. But I mean, obviously you just caught one of the biggest of the day, so it's hard to say.
You know, you guess someone's got to catch one of those big ones, and
Yeah.
I don't mind it being me.
Yeah, might as well be you. Get it?
Yeah, got him. Good one too.
There we go. That is a nice one.
It is a nice one, yeah.
Doubled up. Oh, I got a nice one too. Let's see who's got the bigger one this time. I think I got you this time.
Let me
Maybe.
see.
Gotta keep him down,
Which
just in
one's
case.
the biggest one?
Oh yeah, I got you all day.
Ooh, I don't know.
Golly, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Man, there is nothing better than catching good eating size crappie. I really wish I would have probably kept a few today. Hey, real fast though, I want to talk to you about how to find these fish. I mean, we talked about active target too, and being able to scan around, but having good quality mapping is maybe just as important of an aspect as it is finding them with active target. And the C-map built into my units, that C-map is the type of map built into the Lowrance HGS Pros, gives you the availability to look all across the lake and find all these little contour changes. On this particular spot, there's a creek channel that runs right up next to a point. And of course, it's an obvious location to be able to find fish, whether it's be bass or crappie or everything else in between. But we pulled up there and then we started scanning, and it helps you break down lakes way faster by having that good mapping and being able to see where and kind of predict where you think those fish will be. So today they're really close to drop-offs, on brush piles, on stumps. As you can tell, Todd's hooked up again. And when you do find one, you find a bunch of them.
Got him.
Did you get him?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one there. There we go. Man, we saw those. That was a little isolated group.
Yeah,
Only like two of them.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Ooh.
Can you get it? Yeah, he's still not done fighting. That is not a bad one to end the day. You know, Todd, we have had an absolute blast today. Caught so many nice crappie. You know, for this time of year, for them to not be full of eggs in the fattest time of the year, we've caught quite a few really good ones.
Yeah, I mean, I think all but like 1 or 2 have been keepers. You know, they only got to be 10 inches. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't have to measure hardly any of these.
No,
so, I mean, that's always good that you're not catching those small ones and stuff.
You know, don't get me wrong, we have caught a handful of small ones, but the vast majority have been good, solid keepers. You know, and that's the thing about Lake Nack. I've been here quite a few times bass fishing, but never really crappie fished here, you know, so it's definitely a unique experience and a lot more crappie than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up here and never really crappie fished here. I mean, went to college here and stuff and never really heard about it. But it was always the same old guys coming out here and just sitting anchoring on brush piles. But now, when you have a forward-facing sonar and stuff and you can isolate these trees, I was just shocked about how, you know, this place has a lot of trees out here. I mean, these are all big stumps out here, and it's amazing that how many fish are on these stumps. So I mean, it's by far the way to go now. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun, and it gets little to no pressure. I mean, we've been out here almost all day, and we've seen 2 boats all day, and the other 2 boats have been bass fishing. So we've been the only crappie boat out here today, and definitely caught our limit. I mean, we've caught just a ton of fish today. So, but we'll see y'all here in just a minute. We'll break down the gear here at the boat ramp and talk to you exactly about how we caught them and what we used to catch all the big crappie here at Lake Nacogdoches.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Powerful Total Boat Control. Balls Out. Made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders. Rely on. Challenge your limits. Here's today's Right Stuff presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Today on Lake Nacogdoches, we used a couple different baits to catch our fish. You know, Todd turned to the more traditional bait, the Strike King Mr. Crappie Lightning Shad, whereas I went to a brand new bait by Mr. Crappie, and that is called the Little Sucker. You know, this particular bait is about 1.5 inches long, and the glimmer blue color was the one I turned to. You know, I tend to go to this color, especially this time of year when the bait's really small and you need that more natural approach. I was completing that with a 32nd ounce Mr. Crappie jig head with the Slab Slasher jig head hook, which it just happens to be my favorite. I feel like your hookup ratio is great and your landing ratio is even better. 6-pound Strike King Tour Grade fluorocarbon, and I was using some Strike King pegs right here to actually connect a tungsten bead. Now, I was doing that for 2 different reasons. The first reason to give a little bit more weight to the fall of the bait, but still letting the bait have a very natural approach gliding through the water. But also because both Todd and I were both throwing at these fish, and it was actually giving me the ability to see my bait in comparison to his and not get confused. Now, as far as the rod goes, this is a 7-foot medium light Mr. Crappie Pro Target rod. This is a rod that I use for just about everything, whether it be dock shooting, using Active Target 2, and everything else in between. It's just a really good casting rod, and it's got just enough action to it to where I don't give too much action to the bait, but enough to where I set the hook, I have that backbone. The Pro Target reel completes it. This is a 5:2-to-1 gear ratio reel and a very high quality reel. It's a Pro Target reel by Mr. Crappie. But guys, overall, Lake Nacogdoches showed out today. We easily caught our limit. I can't wait to come back out here. Make sure you take that fishing trip with your friend. Make sure you take that fishing trip with your dad or your mom or your family member that really wants to go. Can't stress it enough. We're not guaranteed tomorrow, so you always take advantage of those times. And until next time, I'll see you on the water.